Hey everybody, on Instagram, trying something different, doing a little bit of a live stream. Just a reminder, if you guys wanted to join the live stream, preferably you would do that over in our Discord channel under sidebysideguys.link/Discord. That way we can get out of the Instagram live stream interface and get you on an actual video call for the show. So if you want to do a video call with me, check it out on sidebysideguys.link/Discord, and you can join us there. I'll try to include Instagram Live on my discussion as well. Just one more moment here. I'm trying to get my web browser into the live stream here. 1 second. Welcome back to the Side by Side Guys Off-Road Podcast. I'm Big Z, and I am not recording, so let's record. Hey, welcome back to the Side by Side Guys Off-Road Podcast. I'm Big Z, and now I'm recording, and now we're live streaming to the internets. Just trying something new, something different, something everybody can enjoy during this holiday season while they're getting ready for Thanksgiving and all of that. First, just want to kind of just run over a couple of things. If you want to participate in the live stream, you can do that in our Discord channel, sidebysideguys.link/Discord. And the only reason for that is it's kind of a controlled place where I can bring you into the actual show without having to keep you within the chat window on Instagram or whatever, or Zoom calls and stuff like that. It's just kind of an easier way to do an actual video chat with people. So yeah, I will bring people in to the live guest channel. If you're waiting in the waiting room and you lift your hand, I can bring you in. So do that there. This is a kind of a new thing that we'll just all kind of learn over time. And again, this is all new to me as well. So we're all learning together. Yeah, we just recently put out our gift guide to kind of showcase what our holiday picks are for getting a gift this season. We put out a whole bunch of DMs to people on Instagram and places like that to get their picks for the holiday season for your gift or gifts for others. And funny story, I completely just was so focused on everybody else's picks that I totally spaced my own pick. So I wanted to kind of cover that in this episode. The pick for my holiday gift guide was the AGM jack rod stand. If you haven't seen this, it's kind of a unique little piece of equipment that will create a whole new safety factor for you while in the shop or on the road. This is a device that will actually go underneath the lift of the jack down to the front axle of the jack and create an actual jack stand out of your pump jack. So this is, something that is a big safety concern is when people are using jacks. Don't get under the car if there's no jack stands, if it's not secure. And the jack rod stand will make your pump jack into a safe jack to work under. So check that out. They're $140. They're made by the great group guys down at AGM Products. But there's been tons of really great products on here. AO coolers, turbo kits, tug ropes, recovery ropes, door kits, waders, shirts, all sorts of different apparel, especially for the ladies out there. And we have also battery relocation kits, lights, bags, cleaning stuff, fire extinguishers, cameras, more shop stuff, belts, mirrors, tuning and flesh cuts and tool kits and all sorts of stuff. So check that out if you haven't. Sidebysideguys.link/2022 gift guide, or at our website, sidebysideguys.com. And then also the big deal of today outside of this live stream was that we put out our holiday deals guide. And if you don't know what that is, this is actually an aggregation of all the deals from around the internet of off-road brands and manufacturers and things like that. And as you can see here on the live stream, we have well over 50 brands represented, 11 categories, and we have nearly 500 different holiday deals for you guys. So you guys can actually go on here. None of this is sponsored, by the way. No one's paid me to have their name on here or their deal on here. As you'll see, everybody's uniform. Everybody's just kind of randomly presented. There's no priority. There's no highlights. There's no paid placement. This is all literally me doing the effort and the work to bring all the deals into one place for everybody to enjoy. And this is a great solution for anybody looking for a deal. You can go on here, say I want to look for apparel deals or suspension deals or whatever, and you can find exactly what you're looking for, either for you or for your loved one. So I suggest everybody go check that out. It's sidebysideguys.link/2022 deals guide, or you can get it at sidebysideguys.com. So this is a growing list. I'll be updating this throughout the weekend, all the way through Monday. And so if any new deals show up, if anybody sends me new deals, I got about 6 in the queue right now to go back on here after the show. So I'll be getting on that fairly quick. So let's do our first call. I think we might have a couple people waiting. Let's see here. Who wants to get on the phone with me? Let's see. And shout out to all our Instagram guys. They are filling up the queue pretty quick. All right, so let's see if Ian's around. Ian hasn't been on the show in a while. I think in the Discord, first up we'll have Dirt Chick, but look at that. Oh, look at that furry face. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Let me turn the volume down on the TV here.
Am I streaming on the 80-inch?
You're streaming on, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. If I remember right, that was a big old TV. It takes up the entire wall over at the house.
Sure.
How's life been? Where you at?
Everybody's good. I got the whole fam on the couch with me here. So we'd love to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we have a lot going on. We got a lot of work we've been doing. We got a lot of people we've been working with. I don't have your audio, though, so let me see what's going on here.
Oh, you can't hear anything?
Yeah, I don't. Hold on one second. Well, this was all set up originally with an iPad, and then realized that I had like a 10-year-old iPad that didn't work anymore. So All right. Well,
Just happy birthday or happy Thanksgiving. How you doing, bud? Carson used to be with Experience out in Moses Lake, and I think he's since moved to the boys area, if I remember right.
I have you actually held up to the microphone, so it's like you never left the studio.
Ah, nice.
You got some kids over there hanging out with you?
Oh yeah, pretty much everybody's here. Everybody's recouping. There's been a whole bunch of fevers in the house and stuff like that. So a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
fun.
been going around.
Yeah.
So, you are just kind of winding down from the event season, right? Like things are just now becoming a little lighter on the workload for you. How are things going? Where are you going next?
Well, before I answer that, I have to actually crack up at what I'm watching on the TV monitor right now.
Yeah, this is what happens when you go live and you don't have $10,000 worth of equipment to make this happen.
Yeah. No, the event season's over. It capped with SEMA, so I'm not slated to go anywhere. I think until April. If I
How
remember
how did
right.
SEMA
So
go? That was not too long ago.
SEMA was really good. Honestly, I didn't really know what to expect, but it was amazing.
The industry, obviously we've talked before about SEMA being kind of a convergence over to doing more off-road stuff than just the automotive stuff. Has that continued this year, or was there anything different?
There was nothing different whatsoever. It was the same SEMA. I didn't see any Bluetooth drive lines or anything like that, but it was just kind of meh. So
I was stalking the Instagrams during SEMA, and somebody actually had the bell housing on their front axle had welded on Bluetooth axle with the Bluetooth logo.
yeah, I saw that once before. It was a kind of like a blue metallic flake truck, if I remember right.
So we just put out the holiday deal guide. What never got a chance to talk with you about it. What kind of deals do you recommend this season?
Well, and I mean this with the utmost seriousness. Jägermeister.
Just get destroyed.
It's the yeah. Jaeger usually always goes on sale during the holiday season. It's good if you want to tune out, tune up, or just numb. You know, your mom constantly picking at you or something like that. Family coming over. Throwing out just little passive aggressive comments about the house or something, just like, oh, so you're not quite done here, right? Stuff like that. But no, absolutely Jägermeister for sure.
And for the lighter drinkers out there,
The lighter drinkers, hams.
hams.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, you tell the girls and the boys happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays, and hopefully here soon we'll get you back in the studio.
We'll give you a wave right now. Come here.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Hey, buddy.
Say hi to Zach.
Hi, Zach.
All right, guys. Have a happy holiday, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care, buddy.
All right. So obviously, Instagram Live is not going to happen today. So we'll stick to the live calls on Discord like we planned on it. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in our first guest. Her name is Taylor, and you might know her more as the Dirt Chick. I think she's actually on the road on her way to work. So let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can get Taylor on the line. If you don't know Taylor, she's kind of a Can-Am sponsored type person. I don't know if she's a factory. I don't think she's factory, but she has a lot of things going on. She's been racing for a long time. In the last couple of years, she's been rebuilding. I know she's wanting to get out there and get in the dirt. But let's see here. Turn on camera. Let's do that. And let's see if we can't get her to turn on our camera. Come on, Taylor, help me out. Maybe she's not listening. Maybe she's stuck in traffic. All right. we'll move on to the next person. How about that? Oh, did she come in? Did I hear her? You there? Nope, she's gone. All right. I will bring in the next person. Ty was next in, I think. So let's bring him in. Ty from Badass Mounts. Let's see if we can't get Ty set up here. Ty, if you're watching, let's get your Discord turned on, your camera. And while we're waiting for Ty, I'll look at who else is in here. We got, I think I just saw, yeah, I saw Matt from Savage UTV. Let's see if we can get him in here. All right, whoever's first to come up with a video or an audio stream, I'll get them on. So, some cool things that are happening around the industry. We have seen Camp Razor come and go, and that was a huge event for everybody. I would love to hear back from anybody that went and actually participated in Camp Razor, see if they actually what their opinion was, what their experience was. It'd be a good time to, talk about something like that.
The phone disconnected.
Oh, I hear your voice. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, Taylor?
I can hear you, but I don't think I'm connected.
I can hear you talking if you talk loud.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know how it's working.
I don't have any video from you, so we won't be able to show everybody your face, but I can turn you up and have everyone talk to you.
I'm glad audio is good. I don't know why there's no video. Is it on Discord? Or is it supposed to be on here?
On Discord, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. I don't know. I try to accept and allow.
So give everybody a little intro to who you are, and if we can get video working, we will, and if not, that's fine. Oh, you just left. Taylor, you just started talking to me, and then you left. Let's bring you back into the live stream here. So everybody that's joining, this is a test. This is our first attempt at this multi-system thing. So let's bring her back in to the chat. Can you hear me? Hello? Taylor?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Just don't leave.
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. I'm trying to. I'm gonna stay right here.
All right. Let's hear a little bit about you. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, I'm Dirt Chick. Some people may have known me back when I had my UTV Dust page, and I had that turquoise Can-Am and my now ex-husband's red Razor. So that's kind of where I came from. But now I'm out here doing my own thing under the Dirt Chick name.
And
yeah,
so what is your thing? Let's talk about this. You were hot and heavy to get into racing. Is that something you're still pursuing?
100%. So you know how it gets. Life kind of gets in the way for a little bit. The car is currently at Candle Motorsports to get finished up and should be back soon. I have full intention of racing. I will honestly probably be prioritizing events such as like UTV Takeover and stuff like that, more so than racing. I may do a handful of races, but we'll see how the year goes out. If I can pull off even more, I will. But I'm assuming I'm probably only going to do about maybe 3 or 4 races this year.
What kind of racing are you interested in doing? Or is it short course, or is it Baja or desert, like U.S. desert, or what?
So it is. It's technically a pro turbo car for like best in the desert, legacy desert racing. I am absolutely in love with Mexico. I haven't missed the Baja race. I think I missed one this year, and other than that, I always find a way to get down there. I've been talking to some people about maybe trying to just focus on getting my car down to the Baja 1000 this year, but I'm not going to commit to that just yet, so I don't want to say I'll be there until I figure out some logistics and see if it's possible.
So the kind of desert racing that happens in Baja is pretty extreme and requires a big support group to make that happen. I know you've been down with various people over the last couple seasons. Do you want to talk about that experience a little bit?
Yeah, my very first time going down to Mexico was actually with Matt from Savage UTV, and I was instantly hooked. And what was cool is with him, we just hopped around to different pits and chasing the race. So I got to see a lot of stuff that wasn't primarily for a race team and expand all of it and really see how the community interacts with the racing down there as well. Like you're out in the washes and there's people out there literally camping on race course with their fire pits. And I mean, this last race, I watched about 10 to 15 people go run out on course to push a truck out of the sand. It's absolutely wild, but that's part of what makes it challenging too, is because as you're coming up the course, there's people literally like pretending they're going to high five you standing next to it. So it takes a whole different mindset just thinking of safety alone and not knowing what you're going to run into out there. Plus, you're out in the middle of nowhere when you're racing. There's nobody there, and hopefully your pit crew can get to you. So the last couple years, I've been actually going down with race teams and been in the chase trucks and whatnot. And it's all about logistics and figuring out how you're going to get to your next pit before the race car gets there. And it's just super challenging on that level. Desert racing is desert racing. There's amazing scenery and just beautiful views out there, some sketchy areas, some fast areas, but so much goes into your pit crew and making sure you keep that car together when there's nobody around.
Yeah, the crew. I just had a podcast yesterday with George Hamill from the Dirt Life Show and Ryan, one of the media guys he took down to Baja this last time. And we talked a lot about planning ahead and crew support and communication needs and how out in the middle of the desert, especially in Mexico, there's really no cell service. There's no nothing. That episode will be coming out next week. But going down to Baja, what are some of the key components of making sure that you can communicate with other people?
So obviously Starlink has been a huge advantage lately. That alone makes a world of difference, being able to communicate with people. But there's also the sat phones, which are phenomenal and they're super clear. So that's pretty much your best bet. Your handheld radios probably aren't going to get you very far unless you're close. We ended up having to go down to this remote pit this past race, and we had no comms. So basically, we got to course, we set up to where when they came around the corner, their headlights would hit our truck. So if for some reason they needed us, hopefully they knew to look for the white truck. But other than that, like we were out there just hoping for the best. But the sat radios have been fantastic, as well as having that Starlink has been just a game changer. Plus, you can get your tracking on your phone as well, so you can actually see where your guys are at on course, and you have a better idea of how long until they get to you, or if you're even going to make it to them on time.
So when you look forward to putting together a program to get back into racing, obviously the car is a big part of that. Are there any components of that car that you're working on now with Candle that you are doing different than maybe you did in the past?
So I'm having him redo the entire fuel system in the car. All the fuel lines are being replaced, and he is doing a phenomenal job with it. And then the wiring is I pulled all the wiring out. I got a brand new harness for it. I was trying to work on it myself, and again, life just got in the way, and it was more efficient to send it off just to get it done and handled. And so he's going to get all that wiring back in it. Before I sent it off, I put all new suspension on it. It's got all S3 suspension on it. So it's pretty much ready to go. When it comes back, it's going to need the shock stun. And then I've been chasing a power steering issue that I'm hoping this wiring harness fixes. If it doesn't, that's something else I'll have to address. And in all honesty, with how this year has gone, like I have been fighting tooth and nail. My whole world has been turned completely upside down. And all I could think about is I will one day find a way to get this car out on the race course, and I will be behind the wheel. So with that being said, there's been a lot of ups and downs, and I decided I'm not going to plan a race. I'm not going to try and find a co-driver. I'm going to wait until that car is back in my hands and I can physically go out and do some test runs myself on it before I start putting a plan together, because I've done it. I'm like, I'm going to totally make this race. This will be the first race with this car, and it doesn't work out. So I'm like, just get the car back. This has been about a 3-year adventure, by the way, from when this car started being torn down and turned into a race car. And like I said, ups and downs, but we're getting closer. And as soon as it's back, then I'll tell you what my plan is. But I want to make sure I can drive it first.
So this is the story of the self-funded racer. This is we don't have any corporate $100,000 coming in each year to support the program, and then it's a grind. Like people call. We've had a number of different episodes on the show about sponsorships and things like that. But getting some backing to really push your program forward is super important. And in this new world of social media and all this other stuff, and it's kind of cliche to say this new world of social media, right? We've been in it for a long time now. But as far as the race programs go, are there anything that you're looking forward to, or anybody you're looking forward to working with to get this program moving?
Well, I just started partnering with Dirt Design, which they are definitely ready to help me get help with just content to begin with, which is phenomenal. And then SD Lighting, they reached out to me, and I just got their lights I'm going to be installing here real soon. They are some badass lights, as well as their race guys, and they go down to Baja, and they are ready to help me get out there. So I'm really looking forward to having this positive family type environment to get me on a race course. And the thing is I have an army of people, in a sense, that they may not be able to show up and come help me wrench on the car. But on the same note, like, there's so many people in this off-road community that has done what they could to help me. I couldn't even pinpoint a select few. Like, every single person I have run across has been just amazing. And sometimes all it takes is a pat you on the back and it's all right, you got it. You know what I mean? So I just look forward to actually getting out there and showing all these people who have supported me over the past couple of years that I haven't gave up. I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep fighting. And if it takes me another year to get on a race course, I will make sure I get out there, just because I have this backing and these people who believe in me. And even with this past year, I kind of disappeared for a little bit dealing with my stuff. As I'm coming back into it, I have had so many smiling faces that are just so happy to see me, like, really pushing and getting back to it. And like, that's just what I look forward to the most, is just getting back out there and seeing these people and seeing how no matter what, they still got my back. And it's been fantastic. Like, I smile every time I'm out in the desert.
So when you get out to Baja, where's the first place you get tacos?
You know what's funny is you would think I would pay attention to these taco shops that we're going to, but because I've gone down with different teams and different people and different locations, I just go with the flow and I'm just trying whatever it is. I will say this last trip we called it the meat place. I honestly don't know what it's called. There's like a playground in front. It looks like a daycare, and then you go to the back and this is like this little restaurant, and they just bring out this like plate of meat. It's not even necessarily tacos, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was so good.
That I could get down with a plate full of meat. That's definitely right up my alley. As far as getting into the car, you're pretty much an Can-Am X3 type racer person. Is there anything that's happened over the last 3 years as far as advancements in cars that you wish you could probably get into? Or, like, there's a lot of smart shock technology. There's a lot of new different components of these race cars that people are starting to utilize. Is there anything that floats your boat and gets you excited to think about investing time and money into?
Well, so my race car is my 2018 X3 that was this like shock that I was able to pull off that I bought it. And it was my play car. It was my dune car. That car has about 6,000 miles on the drivetrain. And I'm going to race it as is because it's budget racing, of course. Figure I get a couple races on it. I know that they've come out with the smart locks and they come out with the smart shocks. I actually picked up a play car that has the smart lock in the front, which is great. I really like the fact that my car is still a little bit more simple. I don't have as much electronics to worry about. I would love to be able to get into a new drivetrain. Like, that's something I would absolutely love to do. And I hear some phenomenal things about that P-drive clutch. And I definitely want to get my hands on that. But I used to mob around an XP 1000, and I had to keep up with built turbo X3s all day long. And it makes you a driver. So although, yeah, I would love to get the new technology, I feel like it was great. There's this aspect that I love having that underdog car and seeing what I can do. I don't know, it's a challenge that I just enjoy, and maybe it's a toxic thing and I should upgrade so I can keep up with everybody. But I don't know, I'm looking forward to seeing what I can pull off with this old car.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for the guys that can really, hold their own in a car. There's a lot of guys that are even doing it in KRXs and things like that. So there's a lot of new options out there for everybody to get into, and I look forward to seeing friends of mine getting out and getting into racing and doing stuff with content and whatnot. So I'm excited about it. Anything in the industry or coming up soon that you're excited about?
So the Red Bull Scramble is coming up. I have full intentions of taking my play card down there and having a good old time. Some dune racing is my jam. So definitely looking forward to that. I was talking to someone about getting down to King of the Hammers. I probably won't be entering it, but it'll definitely be a place that I'm at. And like I said before, I'm planning on trying to hit all the UTV takeovers. So I may have some drives up ahead, but I think like that's some place that I need to be. So those are a few of them. Like I said, December 10th is at Red Bull Scramble in Glamis, and I am definitely going to go send it.
After seeing Scramble last year or last season, that looks like so much fun. I think that Red Bull's really got something with the idea of just doing kind of like a guerrilla race series where they just pop up in these places and let everybody throw down. And I like the format of just kind of the open course, right? There's no lines, there's no boundaries. It's just some pylons that you have to get around, and it reminds me a lot of the Red Bull like aerial racing and things like that. It would be super cool to see them expand that and be a little bit more open to additional locations during the year. It really looks like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and they've been actually really good with all their media coverage on top of it too, which of course that always intrigues me. And just they're putting the time and the effort to draw the attention to it, so I don't see why they wouldn't expand. And you're right, the way that they lay out that race course, like I'm super excited to try it out. It's like a video game, you just go out and just go for it.
Yeah, watching some of the videos from last race down there was a lot of sketchy moments and a lot of really fast cars doing some witch's eyes and things that they probably shouldn't have been doing. And a few cars got taken out, but there was a lot of really awesome captures there. And it's pretty exciting if they can figure out the live streaming of that and make it more consumer friendly. That would be an excellent new version of racing that we could definitely, our sport could grow from.
Well, what's cool about it too is like a lot of people, they look at racing and it's like so out of their reach, or it's not something like they're really into because it's just on a level that they're at. Whereas at Red Bull Scramble, like it's a lot more relatable to people as well because it's just basically having fun. It's not got to have the pre-running done and you got to go out and have your chase cruise. You got to go out and do this. It's like this, like just go out and have a good time, keep your car together, and let's see who's faster. And like I said, I think that actually is going to draw in a much bigger crowd because the reality of it is there's a lot more recreational riders out there than there are race car drivers. And so with that, this gives a series for people who are really talented behind the wheel, but they just don't have the means to race, or they don't want to put, like me over here, like I don't have the means to race, but I have given up a lot in life to chase this dream. And that's just not everyone's cup of tea. But they're talented drivers, and like this gives them an opportunity to get out, have some fun, prove themselves, and not have to go to that full commitment race side.
Well, and we've talked before on the show about how racing used to be this thing where you had to go and try to go for the points or go for the series or whatever, and now it's more about just going. It's more about representing your brands and creating content and being a part of the community and doing your best. And if you make it to the podium, even better, right? So that's definitely something that I think as that racing side of our industry grows and expands, we all just reap the benefits from that because it's just going to be so much content to really enjoy and people to connect with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is everybody wants to watch what's going on and live vicariously. They go and chase their dreams on top of it.
All right. Well, let's kind of give somebody else a chance to get in here. I know you're on your way to work. You are a miner of sorts, doing the big dig stuff and wearing multiple hats over there. And I know you work some long hours, so you got some stuff to do tonight. But thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Bye. All right, so let's take a look in the waiting room. There's nobody in the waiting room. Why is there nobody in the waiting room? Again, this is all just a test. This is our first time. This may be something that down the road I have to just delegate to somebody else to handle while I'm on the show. But let's start that back up and see who we can get back in here. Let's see if Matt can come online here. Matt, you there, bud? Matt Scarpuzzi from Savage UTV, you there, bud? Might have taken too long for him. He might have dropped out on me. Let's see. I'll give him a second here. But as far as the holidays go, let's see. Oh, he dropped out again. Let me see if I can grab him one more time. The holidays go. I'd be super interested to know your guys' picks for gift guides. There's lots of different opinions out there and price points and all of that. So if you have a gift pick for the holiday season, I would love to hear from you about maybe what you want or what you've been looking at getting other people in your life. Matt, you there, bud?
Oh, I got you now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, bud. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Are you able to share video with us or?
Yeah, I think. I'm not the most technological savvy
this
iPhone guy.
is all new. This is a whole new
Let me
process for us. So
Let's see here. Boom, look at that.
oh, nice. Let me close this window. There you are. Let me bring you back onto the video for everybody else to see. You're going to be on this one. Nope, that's not it. Why is it not showing the... Huh. Well, let's... All right, well, we'll just talk to you then.
No worries. No worries.
So Matt, you're from Savage UTV. For those that don't know you, give us a little bit of background.
Yeah, I am the owner of Savage UTV. Basically a company I started a few years ago. We were racing down in Baja and just had some ideas for some products and started manufacturing those products and then became, a dealer of a bunch of other brands in the industry and really just continued to grow over the last couple of years. And now we kind of jump in with some other race teams and help them out, sponsor them, continue to create new products and just grow our presence in the off-road industry.
So I first got aware of your guys' products back when we did a review of the Savage UTV belt case, something that I still have on the car to this day. One of those products that basically solves the problem of safely storing your belt. A well-engineered product, a high-quality product, very durable, has lasted us thousands of miles in adventures and rollovers and things like that. And you guys have expanded your product line to do things like med kits and Pro Eagle jacks and all various different things. Tell us a little bit about the growth of the company.
Yeah, the product that you're talking about, we designed to mount right up on the roll cage. One of the first things we noticed with these UTVs or side-by-sides is, man, you run out of storage space real quick. So we wanted to put something up on the roll cage out of the way, to keep the bed open for, toolboxes and coolers and spare tires and things. But we also knew that with the cages changing and people really adding a lot of stuff, that was not an option for everybody. So we designed a spare tire storage case because we really looked at kind of that area above your beadlock ring, under your Y strap, and said, man, that's a space that we could put something where it's not going to take up any other room. So, the same brand partnerships that we had with Boxo Tools and Pro Eagle and AGM jacks, we designed products that our case basically holds their products. So if you have an AGM manual jack, we have a case that fits on your spare tire that holds your impact gun with the battery, your 19 millimeter socket and their universal hook to be able to lift your car off the ground. We have a Pro Eagle jack one, and then we've got Boxo Tools for, spare tire, tire changes and belt changes. And so we just kind of kept looking at, how can we keep solving problems for people that are looking to store the things they want to take with them out on the road?
And you mentioned the spare tire carrier solution. That's a spot that people in Baja racing have been using for years. And if you go back and look, a lot of those racers, they've had various different types of bags back there, different types of boxes or tools that would just get strapped underneath or whatever. And ultimately, they always seem to get loose or fall out or are hanging there by a thread at the end of the race. And I've seen multiple examples of the case holding on, your guys' case holding snug to where it should be, and nothing coming loose and nothing falling out or getting destroyed or anything. So a perfect example of engineering the product to completely match the demand of that use case. And so it's definitely super cool to see you guys continue to innovate and expand your product line and things like that. So tell us a little bit about life. What's been going on? You got a lot of things going on this year. You guys just got back from Baja 1000. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we love going south of the border, any chance we can. And when we have racers that are down there, that we can help support, whether it's with bringing them product or product support, or helping them with content. I am a UAS pilot as well, or drone, whatever you want to call it, drone nerd. So we get down there, and I'm usually bringing a bunch of our products and stuff. We'll be at contingency and help these guys, whether it's they have an issue with something on our product, or they just, it's been on the car for a couple of years and they just need a new one, whatever it is, we're there for them. And then we get out on the race course. We were just off of kilometer 77, which is kind of a really popular spot. Kind of the first time the chase teams can get access to their vehicles from when it's off the starting line. So we thought it would be a good heavy traffic spot for us to be, and we set up the drones and did some filming, and we're in radio contact with our team. We actually went down with Wayne and Kristen Matlock. So we have a Starlink that is in a system that we build that was mounted on the roof of our chase truck. So it was really the first time I've been able to use that during a race, and man, it was so nice to be able to track, because both Wayne and Kristen are out there off the line pretty close together. And so for me to be able to get video and have cameras set up and get drones, with charged batteries ready to capture this stuff, being able to track where those cars are, like down to the 10th of a mile, is huge. And this was the first time with my satellite up, I could actually really keep track of where the UTV race leader was, where Wayne and Kristen were. And then as we're heading out of there, we never lost contact with anyone on the team. All the chase trucks were on the same comms. Having that satellite link was awesome. So we cruised out and caught the race at a couple other places, and then came back out to the finish line, and we were able to see all the UTVs come in. Got a great video of Scanlon and Blurton coming into that last turn, just battling each other. And then I got to go down and say hi to everybody, and take a look at our products that are on the race cars, after they take that Baja 1000 beating. I like to go down there and support them, and I like to get content, but I also like to see how our products are holding up when they're put to the test. So it's a great reason for me to head south and spend some time down there with the racers.
So we talked, we just had a episode with George Hamill from the Dirt Life yesterday. That's going to be coming out next week. And we talked a lot about how it takes a lot of time to pre-plan these trips, to the logistics of communication and travel and fuel planning and all these different things. Kind of what's your plan when you go to Baja? Like, what's your prep mentality? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, that's a great point, because we, when I started, it was, let's go watch the race and see what we capture. And, you'll get some good stuff, but when you're at the level, I actually ran into George at the finish line, and he had seen the video I just took, and I airdropped it to his cell phone. You want to be in those places, and I'm lucky enough to have raced, the Baja 500, the Baja 1000. We know where a lot of the good silt beds are. We know where the road crossings are. We know where, all of those good spots that you may want to get some good video and content and stuff like that is. And so we literally make a list, and we know how long it takes to get from, we stayed at Estero Beach, and to get from Estero up to the 3 freeway and out to K77, we know how long that takes, how much fuel we need. And all of that stuff goes into your planning, similar to pre-running or racing the race. We want to have a successful mission, if you will. And our mission was to support the racers that we sponsor and to capture some content of them. And yeah, we take it serious when we go down there. I mean, we're having fun, but we do make a list and say, hey, these are the people that are running our products. I know where the products are placed on the car. Do I need to get a shot of the front of the car, or the side of the car, or the back of the car? How many drones do I need? How many backup batteries? How fast are these going to recharge? I mean, it is a lot of logistics that goes into it. But when you come back and I'm sure you can relate to this. You just have tons of memory cards of stuff, and it's okay. Here goes the editing. That's a good thing. You did your job, and you got all of the material, and now it's just stitching it together to be able to show the people who weren't down there, all the highlights of a great race weekend.
So what were some of your favorite moments from this Baja 1000? Every time someone goes to Baja, they come back with, a whole slew of stories and various different memories from the race. And everyone's is a little bit different. No one has the same experience, even on the same crew. What are some of your takeaways this year that just kind of stick in the back of your head?
The biggest thing for me was I was able to take my son with me. He's 11, and he's gotten used to me saying, well, it's the Baja 500, and I got the chance to co-drive last year. Actually drove the 500, I'm sorry, and then co-drove for the 1000. So he's used to me saying, I'm going down, and sometimes he gets to come watch, but I'm gone on race day. And this time I said, hey, bud, you want to come with me the whole time, the whole weekend? And Wayne and Kristen are kind enough to let us jump in and tag along. And I said, I handed him a GoPro and a handheld radio. And I said, I need you to listen to where the cars are at and have this camera set up and help me, capture some of the moments. And he was there, from the second we crossed the border down, and up in the middle of the night, tracking, in between, trying to get some sleep and watching where the cars were, and all the way till the next morning. I think the UTV came across, around 8:30 in the morning, and he's a trooper. He had his Matlock racing hat on and his handheld radio and his GoPro out on about its 16th battery. But it was great to have him with me and to see that he was able to experience that whole fun adventure that I've done so many times.
The Matlocks are heavily invested into their children and making sure they are brought up well and are in a healthy relationship with racing. And I think it's super cool that as a family they can do a lot of these things together, and they're not having to have the kids stay home and stay with relatives or whatever. I would assume that the relationship between their kids and your kids have grown, and there's a lot of different perspective that you guys have that a lot of other families might not have. What's it like having that kind of relationship with the kids and racing and race teams, and how like social media plays into that and everything else? Like a lot of times kids that want to get into racing think they have to be these big social people, and they have to have these big glamorous lives and fake it till you make it and all this other stuff. What's your perspective as a parent, as a racer, as a co-driver, as a friend of families that race? Kind of what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I really fell in love with the youth racing. My son bought a 170, or I should say we bought a 170 for my son. And he just said, hey, I want to go out racing. And my wife said, hey, Kristen told me that their son's going to be out there the same weekend. I didn't even know. And I said, oh, cool. And there's a race Saturday and a race Sunday, and we bring the motorhome, we camp. And I was like, oh, this sounds like, I thought it was going to be work. I thought I was going to be scraping mud off his car for hours, and it would be all work, and then we pack up the trailer and head home. And it wasn't. It was a great family weekend. They raced. We got to hang out. My son was running around with the Matlock boys, when the race was not going on. And then the next morning we wake up and have some breakfast. They get in their little fire suits and throw their little helmets on, and out they go. And then scraping mud off the car. But it's great for them to learn, what goes into getting that car ready for the race, and then getting it ready for the next race once it's done. The competitive nature. My son is pretty close in age with Wayne and Kristen's youngest, and they were racing in the same class. And, they're bumping cars, and my son comes back and his bumper's all dented up and he thought he was in trouble. And I said, hey, bud, this is racing. You're not in trouble. This is what happens. And he, oh, really? Okay. And he ended up winning the championship last year in his car for the dirt series with him and Clayton just battling the whole season. Super competitive, talented little kids. And it is so fun to watch them grow up and learn how to change oil and change a tire and check their PSI on their, pressures of their tires before the race. And they're out there scraping mud, and it's just a cool experience all around.
So when we talk about racing and the family dynamic, what are some of the things you've learned over the years when you talk about getting out to the races and sacrificing and all that? I would assume that from the various discussions I've had with various teams that, it really comes down to having a healthy relationship outside the track and being fully committed to each other and the conversation versus, having blind expectations of how this is all going to turn out well. Is that kind of where you guys are?
Yeah, you got to have a realistic expectation of what you want to achieve, and you have to have an understanding of what the race is that you're doing. I got lucky, and I said I want to go UTV racing, and I said I'm going to do the Baja 500 right out of the gate. And we built the car in my garage, and we really had a few small sponsors, but most of it was me and my buddies kind of splitting everything. We ended up finishing the race, which is mind-blowing now that I look back at how we actually did it with the lack of logistics and everything. But we finished fourth, and I was hooked. And then I really got involved in the sport, and I realized how lucky I was to actually even finish that car to get it to the finish line. So if for people that, want to get into racing, there's tons of stuff like a District 38 or a DP4 or these local races where you can go do an open desert race, and the budget is way more affordable than going out to King of the Hammers or the Baja 1000 or the Mint 400. It's kind of what Taylor was talking about earlier when you guys were talking, that the logistics and the support and the pre-running and the hotels and the insurance and the chase trucks fuel.
Uh-oh, I think we lost Matt.
Sorry, I had an alarm.
There you are.
Me now?
Yeah.
I had an alarm go off on my phone. It blasted my ear. It really gets to be a lot. And there's a lot of options that you can do that are more manageable, and you have just as much fun, at some of these smaller series. And really you'll get the experience and learn the lessons there without being stuck in the Mexican desert, freezing in the middle of the night, waiting for your chase team.
So outside of Baja and business, what else you got going on?
We are working on a couple new products that we're hoping to bring out next year. We were really hoping to get them out for the holidays, which is why I missed your gift guide. I had them all lined up and ready to go, and then we just had delays and things. And so just kind of aiming for 2023 and continuing to support some of the racers that we've supported. And I want to try and spend some more time with my family. I'm blessed that all of them love to be out in the dirt. So we've really tried to change some of our content that we bring to our social media pages from just really race specific stuff to more recreational and getting out and just having fun in the dirt. That's what got me into this whole thing in the beginning. And I want to stay pure and stay true to that, because it's not just about me. If my daughter and my son and my wife can all just have a blast, it's going to be something that we do, for years and years to come.
So speaking of the gift guide, what would be your pick for a gift guide idea for somebody that has a loved one or something for themselves that adhering to the rules that I put out during the initial ask, that is not your own product? What would you recommend?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we've developed so many relationships with so many other companies that to say like one that I'm not partial to, that we don't have a relationship with, was really hard actually. And that's why I chose that AO Coolers in the video I sent, because it is just such an all-around great product. Everybody usually brings some type of beverage and snack with them, and that's really like the cooler that I've fallen in love with. We've been through about 100 of them, and now that's what I have in all of my cars. So
So
the AO
which one
coolers,
specifically do you guys have? Is it the carbon series or like the canvas bags
yes.
or?
Yep. Yeah. The carbon series. I think I have like the 12 pack because it just fits perfectly. I have two 4-seaters, and we put them right down kind of where your feet would go if there's no one sitting in that seat.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we have beat the living heck out of those things. And I tell you, I've never broken a can. The ice stays cold, even down in San Felipe pre-running, in 110. I've been really impressed with the product.
Do you put your bags in the freezers like a lot of people do, or into the fridge before you guys go out?
No, I actually freeze water bottles because I find that throughout the day I'll be drinking other beverages, and that at the end of the day I'm finding myself dehydrated and I drink the water. So I let those frozen water bottles kind of be, the ice cubes throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, they're still nice and cold, and they're about halfway melted. So it's perfect to drink out of there, and then put it back in there, and it's still kind of half of an ice cube.
So when we talk about, this being kind of like the end of the year, do you have anything that's coming up soon or early next year that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, we've had some new products that we've kind of been working on and testing that, two of them are kind of right up the same alley of what we've done with belt storage and things like that. And one of them is totally new. I'll just give you a little sneak peek because we haven't actually said anything about this, but it is a
world
mirror,
exclusive here, people.
Are you there?
Yeah, I was just saying it was a world exclusive.
Oh yeah, world exclusive. It is a UTV mirror that we've been doing some testing on. That's a little bit different than what's out there. There is some really cool stuff, currently out there, and whenever we're making a new product, we don't want to creep into something that someone else is already doing, unless we're doing something significantly different enough to, offer another option to the consumer. We don't like. We've had our products knocked off and copied, and it's not a good feeling. We don't want to do that to anyone else. So anytime we try and swerve outside of the lane that we're in, we want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that the consumer is going, ooh, I want that because of this, and they're the only ones doing that. We don't like to just have the same run-of-the-mill stuff. So we've got a mirror we've been working on, and it's nothing crazy, nothing special, but it's just something different, and hoping maybe January, February, fingers crossed, to have that up.
The discussion about being knocked off by another company, we recently had a very lively thread about that with the case of Harbor Freight copying the Pro Eagle Jack. Just to kind of bring that circle around, the idea behind that post was that our community is so driven by fellow community members supporting each other that it's a lot more fragile than people realize. And I think it's super important that we make a concerted effort to support the brands that support our community. And that's why I love brands like Pro Eagle and Buggy Whip and Savage and a lot of these bigger companies that may have gotten a little bit more disconnected but keep their money still flowing, and really put a passionate effort behind building racers, building community, building content, building entertainment and events and things like that. And so I definitely want to make sure we are all aware of the modern age and how easy it is to knock off a product, and how much our industry has grown over the last 3 years. That now that there's big corporate money starting to come in and gobble up companies and want to get a slice of the pie, it's very possible that our industry starts losing dollars because they start escaping to corporate entities versus industry supporting efforts within the brands and mom and pop shops and various different companies that support our industry. And that's why I continue to, shout products like Savage UTV. It's like, it's a great product, solves a problem, but also, like you said, your passion is to support these racers, to support the community, to support this thing that we've cultivated over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm an inventor just like Chuck. Chuck creates products, and so do I. And we've had many conversations about being knocked off. My original case, the one that you guys launched against a tree years ago, was knocked off this April by China for the first time, and they're up on Amazon and all over the place. And it's something that is a bummer, but I don't get sucked into it. It's going to happen. They're going to change a couple things about it here and there to get around a patent, or do whatever they do to try and undercut you. And it's just one of those things where I just say, hey, I'm standing behind my product. We have had people reach out and, hey, this part broke or this part fell off and da da da. And it's, from us, it's absolutely no questions asked. When you ordered this, we want your experience to be that you're happy with the product, and we support you. And those are the things you're not going to get when you buy it from China. You're not going to get us out at events handing out hats and shirts to the kids, and from that Chinese company and all that stuff. And I get it. People right now, especially, are really looking at the money that they have and how to get the most bang for their buck, because times are tough and gas is expensive, and people are unfortunately being laid off. So when you have a product come out that's very similar but significantly cheaper, I understand the issue. When the consumer says, "Man, I got to make a choice. Do I want to go with the Pro Eagle, or do I want to go with the Harbor Freight?" But like you hit on, it is so much more complicated than just which one is the cheapest. And there are brands out here that are supporting the off-road industry, and we are doing our best to get our prices down. We want to be competitive, but when you're competing with overseas manufacturing, the American-made products are going to struggle to hit that price point. And part of that is we pay our employees, for the most part, significantly more than they are paying theirs. And we are out here doing a support to the community that most of them are not doing. And, there's an expense to all of that. But ultimately, I don't let that stuff get to me. I know it's going to happen. And we just keep pushing forward. And I go, okay, what's the next product? What is the next problem that we can solve? And let's find a way to do it competitive enough that, I don't leave a window for them to knock me off. If my prices are just way through the roof, then there's room for them to come in and undercut me. So we want the consumer to be able to afford it, and we want to be able to push out any of those knockoffs by just making that profit margin so small that they go, you know what, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, and I think that being out in front of the consumer and in front of the market also, if you can consume the mind share, that's a big part of it as well. Just real quick, before we wrap up, I wanted to mention the Starlink thing. You guys have a Starlink case for the mobile Starlink user. Super effective Pelican style case that wraps up the whole thing and makes things easy. How has Starlink changed the game for you and the experience you guys have out in Baja and all these different places? I mean, we talk about it somewhat frequently about how much opportunity is now opened up because we have the simple ability to put things on the internet while we're there out in the middle of nowhere. Is it really changing things for you and your experience out in the desert, or is it kind of just one more distraction?
Oh, it's a game changer. I mean, I literally, driving up and down the Baja Freeway here at the 1,000, it was hard to find a chase truck that didn't have a dish up on the roof rack or in the bed of the truck. They were all over the place, and it's because it is communication in a box, and that is what can win a race. I mean, you got to put in a prep, you got to do your pre-running, those things are all important, but on race day, especially on a long race like a 800 and some mile to 1,000-mile race like that was, guys are having a strategy, and in the beginning of the race, you're trying to keep the car together and see where you're at and see what the attrition of your competitors is. And halfway through, you might readjust a little bit. And as you get to that 700-mile, whatever, and all of a sudden you realize you're only 2 minutes behind, the leader. Well, how did you get that information that you're only 2 minutes behind in the race car? Well, that's communication. And so having these Starlink systems, we are able to see not only where our car is at, where everyone else is at, relay that information to the driver, like in seconds. and to do that effectively so that we can keep the car together when we need to, and we can push the car when we need to. That from a logistics side and race performance side is a game changer. For me, having my fire department and paramedic background, it's peace of mind having that on my truck too. We had a couple individuals that unfortunately were injured out in the middle of nowhere, and we had the ability to reach out and contact EMS to get them moving to the exact spot that we were at, because we have our Starlink and we can communicate effectively no matter where we're at. So I think you're only going to be seeing more and more and more of it. We even saw spectators with it. It's $600 for the dish and, about $130 a month. So it is definitely not something that's inexpensive by any means, but for those of us that put a lot of time and money into going down there and being out in the middle of nowhere, I like to be able to have the ability to stay connected and feel safe. And when it's something where I do want to go down there, maybe not on a race, just for recreation, I still have it with me because I can push the off button and sit on the beach with my, Modelo and relax, totally disconnected. But then when I want to check in with the wife and kids, I just flip the switch and I'm literally live streaming myself on the Baja Beach, and get to say goodnight to my daughter and that kind of stuff. It is just an absolute game changer. And I think we're just starting to see the possibilities of it.
All right, let's do a quick pick. Ian started off the show with a gift pick of Jägermeister, followed up with a pick of Hams. What's your drink of choice to recommend this season?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with some Bullet. I'm a big whiskey guy, and I bounced around from a bunch, but that's right now. That's my go-to. I like doing a little Bullet with whatever your favorite soda is, and that's. I'm sure I'll be having a couple of those tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thanks for jumping on with us and sharing the live stream with us. Always a good time to hear you and see you. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see you tonight, but we'll see you again next time.
Yes, thanks for having me on, and have a safe and awesome Thanksgiving.
All right, buddy. Take care.
We'll see you.
All right, let's see if anyone's still with us. This has been a big experiment and all that. Let's see here. Fokker Fabs. Let's see if you're still here, buddy. Let's see if you're in the waiting room. Oh, it stopped again. I don't know why this thing keeps stopping. Let's start it again, and let's see if we can't get somebody to come in with us. Let's see here. Do I have an invite? I do have an invite. Let's do. Can I just search for him? Let's go to general discussion. Let's go to Fokker. That's not a swear word, I swear. Let's see here. Jump on. All right, we'll give him a second to come on the live stream. So, the idea of getting out and ripping and doing all that this holiday season in the weather, I think is kind of an intriguing thing. If you are a mountain rider like we are, obviously things like snow tracks or enclosures all come up into play. But there's been a lot of movement in the last year or so about bringing heaters into the cab, and there's some pretty cool options if you're a RZR person to go between the two seats from where like the turbo is, as well as some tie-in kits into the cooling system. And so if you're out ripping, there's a lot of cool options out there right now. I recommend you guys looking into that and making life easier for your spouse in the passenger seat. There's also, seat heaters are super easy to install, and you can get them super cheap at almost any automotive store or on Rocky Mountain or various different places. So in the spirit of doing more gift guide recommendations, I would recommend that everybody take a look at installing a set of seat heaters into their seats. You could even take your factory seats. The factory seats are just stapled together. So all you have to do is just take the staples off, shove the heater in, and then restaple it back on there with a staple gun. You're good to go. Highly recommend that. Let's see here if I can bring in somebody. Let me see if There he is. Let's invite Fokker and see what happens. So we'll do a quick little hangout here and see if he shows up. We started off the episode with Ian. He was down in Oregon, was hanging out with his lady friend and family. Let's see. And then we went to Taylor, the Dirt Chick. If you've watched our social channels, you'll know that I've posted video or pictures of her upside down at UTV Takeover Utah. That was a lot of fun down there. Looking to get into off-road racing. And then we just talked to Matt from Savage UTV. He's a kind of an OG, one of our first partners on the channel. So shout out to him for joining us early on, but also just being a super cool, super chill guy. I got to hang out with him a little bit at Sandsport. I can't speak highly enough about, people that are willing to put their life on the line and be an EMS or a firefighter or anything like that, a police officer. There's a lot of those people in our community, and I want to make sure that we celebrate those guys. They have a different mindset and different personality than most of us have, and they really are super super important to our community in just general day-to-day life, but also when it comes to off-roading and being a part of the community, having people that know how to respond in emergency situations really changes the game and the outcome for a lot of people. When you roll your car and you need emergency attention, or whatever the case may be, we can learn a lot from those individuals within our community. And so I recommend that, if you see an EMS guy or a firefighter guy or anybody like that out in the dunes or around the trails or anything like that, give them a shout out, give them a fist bump. They are, kind of the glue that keep us all in one piece, literally sometimes. And life wouldn't be what it is today without people like them. So I'm not getting Daniel on the line here on the invite. So I think after we're an hour into this, I think that's good enough for a test live stream. Next time, we'll see if we can't make things a little bit easier to integrate Instagram. Instagram doesn't play nice with streaming from external components outside of the phone. But anyways, we're going to continue to build this into a solution that we can bring people in from multiple platforms into the live show and make this a more common and frequent thing. So until the next time, guys, I want to wish everybody a happy holidays. Check out the gift guide on sidebyside.guys.com for gift suggestions for your loved ones or yourself. And we also have the holiday deal guide right now with over 50 brands represented with all their holiday deals listed. So they're all categorized, and you can simply go look for a suspension upgrade or a tire wheel package or whatever and get to the deal that will meet your needs and get you the upgrades that you want on your vehicle or your spouse's vehicle. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, all the different places. We would love to have you give us a like and a subscribe if possible. And if you're on Apple, a review would be awesome, whether that be a 1 or a 5 star. That's always appreciated. But stay safe out there. Watch out for drunk drivers. Don't be one yourself. And until the next time, guys.